Hi, I'm Tealish, and you're watching Coffee and Clix. Today we have Mcconnell, Garrett, and Antonio, the newly crowned 2023 Team World Champions. So congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to be talking about a lot today. We're going to talk about your experience at Worlds. We're going to talk about Notorious. We'll talk a little bit about the new meta and like the new figures that are, everything after rotation. Let's just start with Worlds. Congratulations, you guys are officially the 2023 HeroClix Team World Champions. What were you playing? What were your team builds and everything when you describe that entire experience for Team Worlds?
For me, and I think for Mac, this was our first Worlds experience and our first time playing Team Worlds. So for us, it was kind of, I can't speak for Mac, but for me, it was like the beginning was a little bit of a whirlwind, getting everything kind of done and up and everything. And Antonio has done it before, so luckily he was able to kind of help us out there. And when we started building teams, Antonio and Mac jumped in and were able to start like kind of putting things together. And as they were getting things together and picking and choosing and stuff like that, we were able to kind of like they were able to help me kind of get everything organized. They were able to help, Antonio was able to help everybody get organized. Mac and I kind of jumped in and was like, okay, well, after like for myself, I was like, oh, okay, I'm using these are figures that they're like, hey, these go well together. And, we were like, oh, I was like, oh, okay, I can use this one and drop this one, and they were able to choose what they wanted. And the team building actually went really, really well, surprisingly enough. It went much smoother than I had anticipated. And I know a lot of people are like, man, we need more time. We need 5 more minutes. We need 10 more minutes. And I even think we said that. But surprisingly enough, I think we were able to accomplish a pretty good combo of figures in that amount of time. So.
And what did you guys end up building?
I personally played, was it Super Rare Two-Face, Super Rare Penguin, and then Poison Ivy Rare, and Lincoln March Rare, both on top dial, and then a Mr. Freeze on low dial. And then obviously a plethora of goons and Amanda Waller on the off stage, on the outside part.
Yeah.
It
was it really was it was a easy team building thing. We had a strategy before. When you play Team Worlds, you know that you're going to build around your high rarity stuff. So that's exactly what we did. We built around our high rarity stuff, which is why when you hear Garrett's team, it was nothing but rares and up. Necron was one of the pieces that we pulled. So I knew I wanted to play him. Our chase was deceased Wonder Woman. And, we were like, all right, we have to play her. Mcconnell, he ended up running 2 Zods and Toyman. And then we were like, all right, someone has to play Deadshot. Deadshot didn't necessarily fit on my team very well, but we were like, all right, so McConnell got 2 Zods, Toyman, and Deadshot, which is a nasty team. That means, Deadshot's hitting hard, but those Zods are hitting for 5 thanks to Toyman, which is just insane. And 2 people making you kneel is ridiculous. I'm sure the guys will agree. We didn't have a sexy brick at all. We just didn't. We didn't have the sexy brick. We didn't have the sexy like pulls as far as super rares, and our chase wasn't the chase that any of us thought we might get. We were all hoping for like a Black Lantern of some kind. We got none of that. I just played personally. I played toward my strengths, which is evasion and positioning. And that got me that ended up with Necron at 75, Wonder Woman deceased at 75, Lex Luthor, and Saturn Queen, which was my MVP, at 100. Because I almost dropped her down to a lower dial so I could get Black Hand and all these other things, but I didn't want anyone on my team that was going to be easy points for like a Black Adam, like a good easy one shot. That's not what I like to do. I don't like to give points away. So I played all those guys at full, except for Necron, of course, and it worked. It worked out. What you got to say, Mac?
Yeah, I mean, Antonio told you the team, double Zod, Deadshot, Toyman, high attacks all around, some mind control, which is always nice to have, double leadership, the targeting token with Deadshot that lets them pick a character and be able to just shoot them without line of fire considerations within 8 squares. The double kneeling was huge. It really came into play in a lot of games. But yeah, I mean, the leaderships on Zods, the Psychic Blast, the Ignoring Hindering, they just had a lot of versatility. And from the team building perspective, I think, yeah, and Garrett said it right, you know, we kind of just looked at the teams and said, you know, what do you guys want to play? I think the kind of Swarm, Gotham City, Underworld theme team that Garrett had kind of, you know, suited him well. Antonio told you he got the team that he wanted, and I just, you know, I like having mind control. Leadership is important. I think I was the only one that wasn't able to get Prob on the team. We only pulled the 2 Probs in the break, which was I wasn't highly concerned when we were building the team because I had fairly decent attack. The Zods have I think 11s and 12s. Toyman and Deadshot had 12s. Deadshot got his the RCE. But yeah, I mean they had pretty high attack, so I don't think that was a huge concern for me. But it played out pretty well. And to Antonio's point, I think if you bought this brick as just your own personal purchase, you wouldn't have been happy because we got I think 3 super rares and one of the less desired chases, no primes.
No primes.
But yeah, but if you know. It worked out for the team still, so no complaints.
Yeah, it worked out.
I remember one of my vivid memories. It was early on when I was we were like, Mac, how you doing? And he's like, double Zod, kneel, and then do it again.
Kneel.
There's
a funny story that'll come up in I think it was in our final round that I'll get to with the double Zod. But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, so I mean, tell me about like your actual games in the tournament.
What I mean,
whoever wants to go first.
So let's just let's say the first 4 rounds of Swiss, right? First 4 rounds of Swiss. It was rough. It was a little bit of rough going at first. Overall, you know, we had good competition. The 3 of us had good competition throughout the 8 rounds that we ended up playing. But I know personally for myself, like I kept my first 4 rounds of Swiss. I kept track, and on my first 4 rounds of Swiss, I only gave up points in round 3. All the other 4 rounds of my first round of Swiss, no one got any points from me at all. I played Black Adams with Thunders of. I played Black Adam with like various help, and they got no points any of the times. Saturn Queen just destroyed people. Saturn Queen with that Lex giving everybody outwit was too much for 3 outwits was too much for damn near every team.
And double prob.
And double prob. And like multiple leaderships that could take tokens off of everybody. So with that being the case, it was just about positioning. You know, it was about just playing and Black Adam was the biggest thing that I encountered, like power wise, next to Zod. It was like Black Adam or Zod those first 4 rounds, and like the also that rare Ivy is amazing. We wanted Harley to go with the Ivy. We didn't get any Harley in our whole brick, which we thought was crazy. We were like, oh Garrett, if we get a Ivy, if we get a Harley, we didn't have no Harley for him. It of course worked out. But once we got into Top Cut, you know, the one thing that I love that we did is after each round, we talked about what our like highs and lows kind of were, what we could do better. And when round 3 happened of Swiss, all 3 of us lost. We lost to.
Didn't you win?
Huh?
I think Mac won that round. Antonio, I think you and I lost that one, and Mac won that one.
I have the sheet with our full scores. Okay. So round 3 is when you and Garrett lost. That's when we played HeroClix.
That's
I won. Yeah, I won that one, but we were still 1-3. So as a 1-2, so as a team, we lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we lost as a whole team, because I remember, of course. So like Mac just said, we ended up playing our final round opponent in round 3, and Garrett and I both looked at each other and was like, all right, I knew what I had outwitted the wrong thing. If my Necron would have outwitted Amanda Waller's outwit instead of Poison Ivy's vines, then that game goes completely different. Garrett, we coached up Garrett to be like, all right, so why'd you lose? And then he didn't fall into that same trap in the final round. But other than that, like, it was
Garrett was facing Saul, the current, well, I guess the former world champion in rounds 3 and the final round. So being able to play him that round and see where he went wrong, and that's a big thing that came up too in teams, right? Is just having those post game discussions about what was the strategy, what led to the loss, was it just bad dice, was it positioning, was it just the approach? So that's kind of something very different from singles. I mean, yes, you can have those conversations in singles with teammates, but
with other
when you're
players,
actually on a team, when you're actually on a team, you can have those discussions. It's really helpful. And I don't know, maybe if we don't face them in the finals, we don't win, because maybe it's an opponent we hadn't faced all day and we don't have that previous knowledge. So that was helpful.
Yeah, the conversations were great, because part of, at least for me, a lot of it was all kind of again back to kind of being a blur. Those Swiss rounds kind of like went, and then we were at a point where I was like, oh my God, we're making it into the top 16. Holy crap. But like having those discussions, because specifically Antonio and I talked about this for a second, because he'd done I was like, crap, if I place Black Adam, like my team's very soft, and that 200-point Black Adam will just come through and start wrecking on things. And sure enough, top 16, first round, boom, boom, Black Adam, Riddler, and I forgot the last one. I think it might have been Harley, and I was like, well, here we go. But here, you know what? I was able to take the Black Adam out, and I think either one of the Harley or Riddler. I don't honestly remember.
It must have probably one of them, because you got 250, right?
Yeah, I got 250. Yeah, so like it was that conversation though, because Antonio was like, "Yo, if you get up, base him with something, because then he can't do anything." Like, sure enough, when I got up there, Ivy and Lincoln March just, and that Black Adam was sitting there, and even though if I hit with them, that special Mystics was going off, but I was sitting on an elevated shooting down with Two-Face. He had his own prop. He was out of range of everybody else, so he took Clix every time he hit. But you know what? He didn't die, and it was able to just pepper it down until. So the post-mortems, post game was very, very helpful. And again, it like to both of the points, we wouldn't have played Toxic Clix and Swiss, had the discussion, and then played them again. I don't know how it would have.
We still would have won. That's what it is.
Still would have won.
Meant to win. We still would have won.
Yeah, I do remember this going into that final round. This was very vivid for me. Going into the final round, knowing that we've already played them, knowing the last outcome, Mac was like, I won again. He's like, I beat him first time, I can beat him again. And Antonio was like, listen, I know exactly where I made that mistake. He's like, I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm going to win this time. It's like, okay. So for me, I was like, okay, how do we play this that I don't make the same mistake? And it turns out I didn't make the same mistake this time, but it caused a double loss for that final round for Saul and I, because it was a 0-0 loss at the end there. But I was like going in knowing that I was like, okay, I know how I'm going to play this. And if it turns out exactly the way I thought it was, which is the double loss, I was like, I know my two guys on my team have got this. They came and they were both like, they got this. So it was actually, for me, it was actually kind of, it was really nice, because I was like, okay, so at the end of the finals, it was 2-1 for us, but it was 0-3 for the other side. So like, you know, it was one of those like
Just
very
so,
satisfying, like 0-0s, I guess.
yeah, sorry, just to jump in on it real quick. That right there, that story is one of the beautiful things about teams because think about how, crucial every win is because 2 wins, you're out. And to go in and have your strategy be, I'm gonna take a 0-0 loss and have the faith and confidence in your teammates to be like, all right, we need you guys to pull it off because I cannot approach and win this matchup is just one of the great things. And what's one of the fun things about teams, like those kind of strategies are viable. You may just have a matchup where you can't win,
where you can't win,
and you just got to take the loss and hope that your other teammates can carry that round. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, no, it was really one. You guys were like my saving. My only losses that whole day were to him in Swiss and him in the finals. And because I played him in Swiss, I was like, I know exactly how this is going to play out. No matter what map I chose, I knew exactly how it was going to play out. So I was like, I'm not going to do the same thing I did last time, which was, I basically like it got to a point where I was like, oh crap, I kind of started inching up and moving forward.
and he was able to shoot you from afar.
And he was able to shoot me with
dead
shot and Todd and stuff from when way back. And so he had blocked himself in a room and then put the terrain in front of the doorway. So he was just kind of sitting in the room waiting. And I got the first round, I was like, okay, I'm going to inch up. I'm going to destroy that blocking. I'm going to try and move up and try and get some points. Ended up not working in my favor. So this time, chose a different map, still put a blocking in front of a small room on the other side. And I was like, okay, well, I'll start taking out walls. I'll start taking out blocking, but I'll stay just out of the range. And I stayed just out of the range. And if by doing that, he would sidestep and he'd stay in the room. He didn't want to leave the walled space. And I was like, okay. I was like, I am confident with Antonio. I'm confident with Mcconnell. I was like, I know these guys can do it. In the worst case, at the absolute worst, we're both going to take the loss.
I only lost round 3. I didn't lose any other matches. So, and I knew I wasn't losing, not to be sound like I guess too full of myself, but there was no way that I was going to lose to his team. I knew what it did. I knew what it took, and I know. And if we were to watch the playback, which has Doll H posted our round 4 videos yet, or our final round?
There was a camera up on our table for my final round, but I haven't
all
seen
3
the
of
videos
us
anywhere. So
I'm
gonna go check that out. I want to definitely watch your game. So
well, you don't bother with mine. It's a lot of.
Oh, you know what? I
love that. I love that.
I don't remember.
Oh, sorry, McConnell, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying Garrett's video is up, but I can't remember if it was his Swiss round or his final round because he had the same opponent.
You know what? It was the final round because it was the dancing on either side of the.
Okay. I gotta find my final round because I personally I need that as an archive. Like I need to just hold that. Like,
mine is a little slow. I keep destroying walls and moving back, and it just never. But
well, Garrett, it's interesting. Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Antonio. That's a game sometimes. It's just a cat and mouse game sometimes where you're just like inching up. Sometimes that just works out that way.
Yeah, I kept trying to like I said, I would for that end game, I would try and blow open a wall or blow open a piece of blocking or something like that to like antagonize the openings, and it just never worked. And I was like, well, last time I went in.
I almost did that. Realistically, I almost did that in the final round. The Richie, who was my round 3 opponent, again, he had picked a map that was advantageous to himself because he had Harley Ivy, King Shark, Amanda Waller, and Cy Borgman. And Cy Borgman carries around a team. King Shark hides in stealth, and Hypersonic Flurry exploits, which is ridiculous. And I was okay with it, but I didn't outwit Amanda Waller's outwit, which allowed him to outwit that shut other things down, or King Shark down, and allowed King Shark to come kill Necron, which I still could have possibly won after that, but it set me at a big loss. And then I told myself there was one time where he was bottled up into a room and I was about to do it. I was like, I'm coming in. And he literally says, you don't want to do that. And I was like, you're right. And then I moved into like the other side of the map, where it was advantageous for me. And he still came in and tried to get my Lex. But what everybody keeps forgetting, or what no one knew, which was that if you hit Lex and you don't finish him, which nobody was able to, he gets Mastermind, and he shares a keyword with Necron. So Necron is
Herald,
at full.
Right?
Yeah, they're both Herald. So King Shark tried to like hit Necron. He tried to hit Lex, and he did. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna mastermind this to Necron. Oh, Necron's here now. Lex was like, hey, out with that guy and shoot him. And that's what ended up happening.
And also
a bunch of
heal back up.
I don't think we've said it yet, so I'll just tell you now what our records were overall. Antonio was 7-1 on the day. Garrett was 6-2, and I was 4-4.
And those,
So yeah,
And you know,
everybody won where they needed to win. That's really what it came down to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the way it usually is, right? Like, everybody comes through for each other when you need it, right?
Yep.
So
that's the joy of. I'm literally gonna say it now. Of course, we're recording it, but I think Team Worlds is the hardest format in HeroClix because it is not just dependent on you. It's not. It's just not. And like I know lots of players this year, and also like shout out to Garrett and Mac for like this is the largest attended HeroClix event in history. Right? 69 teams total. That's over 200 people that were vying for the top spot. And that is a hard thing when you are not just worried about your own dice and when you can't construct the perfect team. And like Mac had said earlier, if you bought our brick and if somebody did an unboxing and unboxed that brick, they would not be happy at all. So for us to still come through and to build and to synergize the way that we did, because that's what it was. All three of our teams had high synergy. So like I'm still just so proud of them, and it being their first time playing Team Worlds and their first time at Worlds in general, like coming to a big event. And Garrett is still just a year into his HeroClix like career, or like just over a year. So like it was a lot of stiff competition, though. And I mean, Bruno, because you were last year's champion. You were part of last year's champion team. So,
yeah, you were.
So you know how hard it is to like literally go through all these people, and matchups matter, and team cohesion matters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It really does. It really does, because one flat tire, unfortunately, really can bake you in this. Like if you have a somebody who just can't. Our other team of Bionic 2. They had one of the players who's still a little bit newish. And it's called, if you don't get enough points, that it could be literally 200 points could be the difference between you making top cut and you not making top cut. So like it was just said, we got the wins where we needed it to. And we prevailed. So it was a good time.
And I can say that to attest to your point about, every time, especially in the top 16, top 8 and stuff, every time I went into that round, I was like, crap, I don't want to be the one that I was like, man, I don't want to be the one that loses this, and like I had Black Adam first, and then I had Camo was either second or like semi, and I was like, it was like Camo and Killer Croc, and I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be brutal.
You got it.
I was like, but like every time it was like, I got it, and Antonio would be like, yes. And I was like, yes, okay, got the win. Moving up,
It just shows
there's so many nerves at play, because I think I lost my first 2 top cut games, and I'm just like, man, I think the first one was like King Shark with Kite Man and Lex Luthor. Like, what am I gonna even do with this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you just go in and you do your best. You try to get some points, which I think I did in both of those losses. But you just hope that your teammates can pull off, because you hope they get even more favorable matchups, or they're able to pull it off. Because some of those matchups I was seeing in those early rounds, I was like, this is just not gonna happen.
But
points, like that's it for anyone that's
Yeah.
listening. If you end up playing Team Worlds next year, and even if you play in the tournament in general, make sure you get some points. Do everything you can to get points. Sometimes you're not going to do it because your opponent's team might just be that good. And again, like my score sheet said, I wasn't giving out no points. In those first 4 rounds, I only gave out 225 out of 4 rounds. So it's called, but do your best to get points. You know, focus in on one character, get them off the map, and then go from there. Like, especially if you feel like your team is underpowered compared to your opponents, try to just beam in on one character and get them off the map. And even if you lose, at least try your best to get some points. It's so important. That's a big thing in teams, is getting points. You know, it can literally be the difference. But even if you get the loss, trust me, those points that you get accumulate, and they could be the difference between your team making top cut and just missing it.
Yeah.
I just want to also. Oh, go ahead, Garrett.
Go on. Yeah, go on.
Well, I wanted to also just get your overall experience of Worlds in general. Like, how did you like the experience of going to Memphis, and just like the overall weekend? Like, how was it?
For me, for the first time, for me, I mean, I had a blast. I didn't arrive till late Thursday, so I didn't get to do any of the Thursday stuff. I only got one BR in on Thursday, so like Friday was my like, here we go, getting into it. But because I think we finished at like 7:50, so like at night, so like that entire day was just spent on teams, and then
we went to the fan appreciation.
Yeah,
right
and then
we
went to barbecue, like, and then it was and then obviously we did singles, and then I did BRs later that night. I know you guys participated in theme, and then I just did BRs on Sunday as well. I had a blast. I didn't have any dice luck with BRs whatsoever. It was brutal out there. But I loved it. I loved being able to use Notorious for the BRs. Honestly, one of my big actually sad things, I know nobody else wants this, but I was actually sad there was no Avengers 60th anywhere, because I was away for work this summer. I've not played a bit. I literally just got one super rare that I got at Worlds from Troll and Toad. Like, I was like, oh man, it'll be a great place to catch up on some of my Avengers 60th. Didn't happen.
We would have rioted, Garrett.
I know. And I was like, but there wasn't even bricks. There wasn't even bricks to buy. There wasn't boosters to buy. Like, it was like Avengers 60th didn't exist at all. It was wild. And then my biggest sadness was that I didn't get a Space Ghost because they ran out so quick. And then Friday they were like, we don't have any. And by the time they got them, they were like,
that's crazy. Friday they said they didn't have any.
Yeah,
Sweet
and then
Lord.
they were doing the raffle on Saturday, and then obviously my raffle ticket didn't win because
Sweet Lord. Packs. You always have packs too. You'll get one before the end of the year. You'll get one before the
fingers crossed. But other than that, I mean, it was fantastic. Meeting people was fantastic. You know what? I had 0 dice luck. It was a little frustrating at some points, but like meeting the people that were at those tables, enjoying, like, there was a lot of good people that I met, and I didn't even get to meet nearly as many people as I kind of, I don't know if you guys felt that. I didn't get to meet a lot of the people that I was kind of hoping to meet. Like, I met some people in passing and some people not at all, but like, you know, Anthony, I don't think we met until
we didn't meet till the plane
the plane ride home. Like, so you know,
favorite plane ride.
Yeah, we almost died. All right,
it was a crazy flight. Yeah.
We almost died. Fire on the plane, landed in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'll go next because so it was also my first time at World, so nothing to really compare it to, but I'll echo Garrett's sentiment. Like, it was just amazing. I had a great time. Just to start off at the beginning, we did have some, you know, bad plane luck as well. We had a 3-hour delay on our flight coming in. So I was kind of nervous because I was wanting to play in the Pulp Championship, and the timing was not working out with how late we were going to be arriving. So once we got to the airport, bags were there ready to go, hopped in an Uber, literally ran over to the convention hall and just got into the Pulp. Played that for a bit, didn't make the cut, but they really had a good time doing that. The following day was teams, I think.
Yeah.
And then we did that all day. You already know how that turned out. Can't be happier about how that ended. Wanted to Fan Appreciation Night. A lot of cool stuff was shown. Yeah, next year is gonna have a lot of cool stuff.
A lot of fun.
Then we went out to Marlowe's, rode in the pink limo. Um, we were sitting right next to the Toxiclip guys at Marlowe's, and just to say something about those guys in that team, like they are, really jovial, really happy guys, really just good stewards of the game, and glad to have them as part of the community. Took some pictures, had some drinks.
Yeah, I was gonna say we had some pictures. They invited us out for the drinks later and everything. They're good guys.
Yeah, and then so the next day was singles. Played in that. So one thing I will say, which was a little unfortunate, I think we started a little late, so that had a ripple effect of the fifth round of singles started at the same time the first round of theme. So you had to kind of make a choice of, am I going to play this fifth round? And if you're doing well, you don't want to drop. But I was 2-2 at the point with lowish points, so I said, let me drop so I can play in theme because I didn't want to play in all the big events. So I did that. Was able to place, I think, sixth right behind Antonio. I think Antonio was fifth. We actually met up in the second to last round of Swiss. They only did like 5 rounds of Swiss for theme. So that was a really fun event because that had a lot of cool teams that were played. Theme is, I think, a really nice format. It doesn't get talked about as much as like pulp and singles and teams, but theme is a really fun event, and I like it a lot.
Mcconnell, I really liked your team. Actually, I noticed what you posted for your build was you called it the CPAP machine. I don't know what the
CPAP machine. So the team was. I have the sheet here. What is it? The team was. It was
Franklin.
Franklin. It was a cosmic theme team. It was Starbrand with Exospecs. Listen, Starbrand. I am in love with Starbrand because her ability to hand out powers, give the +1 to all stats is, yes, she's 75 points, only 5 clicks. She's easy to take out, but man, does she bring a lot to the team. So it was her with Exospecs to give her more options to have powers to hand out. Franklin Richards, who can pick powers. Hope Summers, who can pick powers. She had the Lyring, Daimonic, Molecule Man with the hammer. That hammer just does, for those that don't know, it's on a 10 to 12. It gives the opponent an action token. Then I had Dark Phoenix, the Colossal Retail at 30 points, and Collector with the Time Gem. I wasn't getting the +1 attack bonus with Collector, but I was getting the damage bonus. So CPAP is for Cosmic Pickup Power. Nice. Is why I named it the CPAP machine.
I love it.
But yeah, it was a really fun team to play. It was a really fun team to play, so it was cool. Ended up sixth in that, and then the last day. That's another thing I kind of regret. It was the last day. I didn't get to. Well, throughout the weekend, I didn't get to play many BRs because I was playing in all these other events. I did get 2 BRs in on Sunday, which were both Notorious. Thankfully, I didn't have any of the set outside of what we pulled in teams. So played in those, did all right. Got super rare Frank the Plant and super rare Metallo. So it was fun. I just had a great time. Everybody was great. I got to meet a bunch of people, Emily, yourself, the people from Clix and all these other places. So it was really a great time.
Awesome. Yeah, go ahead, Antonio.
I know overall, like the guys have said, it was a great time. I got there on Thursday in the early afternoon, and first off, shout out to the community because me coming to Worlds was a last minute thing, 1000%. And it was not like a planned thing. I didn't think I went to Gen Con, so I didn't think I was going to be able to go. And next thing you know, through a little hassle of finding a room, I was able to get a room with someone that I had played like before COVID, like in some BRs, let me room with them. Shout out to Fernando for letting me, and Evan for letting me room with those guys. Really, really cool guys. And Thursday I got 4 BRs in that day because I knew I was going to play in the event. on the following days. So I just let Thursday be my BR day. I won my first 2 BRs. Funny story for my first BR is the person that I had kind of like a miscommunication or whatever with staying with, the person that told me I couldn't stay with him anymore for a very silly reason. He ended up sitting right next to me in my first BR. And next thing you know, when I kept score, I wrote everybody's name down. So as soon as he told me his name, I was like, oh, well, I know there's only one person in this whole convention that has your name because it's very unique. So we get around the table and they say, what's your name? And I'm like, my name's Antonio. And he had a smile on his face. And as soon as I said Antonio, it was like, and I won simply because I had Ra's al Ghul and I made him the target each time. I was like, you're the target, die, you're the target, die, you're the target, die. So I won simply by killing his figures. So that was my a little high point for me. And then I was able to get they dropped Venom Goddess Symbiotes, which is cool. And then which I'm trying to trade because I need a Rainbow Hand Superman. And my second BR, there was a Black Adam Superman pulled that I was about to pull that booster, and then Jay Major ended up pulling it, and he was just destroying people. It's like 6 damage straight through. I still squeaked out a win somehow in that BR. So I got but then they dropped Rainbow Hand Superman, and I was like, oh, what do I pick? Rainbow Hand Superman or Black Lantern Superman? So I had to choose Black Lantern Superman because it's Black Lantern Superman, and I have more chances to get a Rainbow Hand Superman. I know I'll get one, but
so you thought.
Yeah, right. And he never dropped in any of my BRs ever again. It was literally
I think they ran out.
I never saw on any BR I ever put on all the BRs I played. I think I got a good couple. I never saw one Venom God, never saw one Joker, never saw one Rainbow Hand Superman.
What? You never saw a Joker?
Never saw any of them. The only thing that I got that was from this year's
was like Watcher?
Was the Watcher.
Oh,
geez. It was the only thing that dropped at my tables.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, they were running out. They were running
question for you, Antonio. So yes. knowing how limited Rainbow Hand Superman was after the fact, would you have still taken Black Lantern Superman?
No, because we have PAX East coming, and there's a good chance that and also like I potentially have a trade set up like the Venom Goddess Symbiotes is an extra. He's an extra. I was able to get one at Gen Con, thankfully. So he's an extra for me. But even if he wasn't an extra, between the two characters that I would much rather. I mean, you see what I got on. You see what's in the background. I love Venom, but I love that Superman even more.
That Superman, I'd trade it to you for that.
Yeah.
Venom.
Yeah, I mean, and the Venom God he's great. He's great. I really like him. I played him once. He's really good. He's very fun. I played him at full too. He's really fun. But the Black Lantern Superman makes the Black Lantern team very different.
Yeah,
he makes that team very different with Necron. Like, and with Scott Porter, he's top dial. He's a 260 point figure for 120 points, or realistically for not 260 points. He's top dial turn 1 with Scott Porter. So it's like you have to look forward.
So how does that work with Scott Porter? I'm just curious.
Because Heroes for Huntington's Scott Porter, which a lot of people, everyone wants to use both the Scott Porters together, and that they're great because they are great. For myself, I'm gonna more than likely probably end up using the HeroClix for Huntington Scott Porter. He has TK, which Superman loves, being able to fling him out. He has Perplex, which Superman loves, to make sure that he does that. But he also has free healing. Since he has all keywords, that means he will have a Black Lantern. He will have the Black Lantern keyword as well as the Indigo Tribe ring, because he'll have Indigo Tribe keyword. So he gets the Indigo Tribe ring for free. He already has support, and the Indigo Tribe ring gives him support. So when he heals up an additional 1. So realistically, you're getting at least 2 clicks of healing. So the free healing plus at least 2 clicks means 3 clicks of healing that Superman gets on turn 1, which means he's at top dial now. So now you have that 20 defense, all the damage, and now you got TK to just let Superman run across the map and destroy anything. And now Necron heals 2, or any of the other Black Lanterns that you might have on the team heal 2. So I had to do some forward thinking and choose Black Lantern Superman. I came in like second to some of my other BRs. Of course, Friday went how Friday went. The team world. Another thing for the community, like HeroClix has a lot of cool stuff on the horizon too. Like if you went to the fan appreciation night, you saw a lot of really cool stuff. If you haven't bought into some of the iconic stuff, that stuff is really cool. Like it was said, Mac said on Friday, I didn't play in Worlds because I knew my flight was early on Sunday. So I didn't even want to potentially play someone that really was going to be able to be there and possibly beat them or not give them enough points. So I didn't play in Worlds at all. I did play in the theme event, which was really cool. I played a scientist team that had Rack Knight, Spidey, Prime Spidey, the Brain, which I love, and some other. My brain is
play Sakaar and Iron Man.
Sakaar and Iron Man with no cloak. Sakaar and Iron Man, no cloak.
No cloak.
Rack Knight with Skybreaker, which I love. Spidey with the all black, because why not? The Brain, and I think that was
your team was almost just like my team in silver. Your
team.
Yeah, mine
and
was
that's the thing
also.
Yeah, like I and it was fun. Like Max said, I placed in the top 10. Unfortunately, I had to play him, and it was somebody was saying like, "Do you go easy on your teammate?" I was like, "That's a different event."
Never.
From brothers to enemies in like 24 hours.
Yeah,
right.
And definitely appreciate that. Appreciate that, because I mean, even with my kids, I was like, no, you gotta earn these wins.
You got to earn these wins. So the funny part is Mcconnell loves Naruto. So we definitely had a Naruto Sasuke moment very quickly. It went very quickly. We're standing at the falls like,
yes.
You're in my way.
Yep.
You're in my way. So we had to fight. So it was fun.
It was fun.
And our friend Michael Kornichuk, he ended up winning that event. So shout out to him too. He was on Bionic too.
New York taking home the title.
New York let me tell you, man. And I mean, and Mike, cool thing about him is he took a loss in Worlds. He was undefeated, but he took a loss just so he could play in the other event, and he ended up winning that event with an amazing Ultra K Thanos team with all the gems. Pretty much, it was a great time overall. Like again, we were just so happy. Tony Bruno and our friend Abdul, they made me cry in the lobby. That's not a story anyone's gonna tell you, but I'm gonna tell you, they made me cry in the lobby. The next day after we had won Team Worlds, they're like, "Congratulations, Antonio! We're all from the same area," and they were like, "You deserve it." And I tell people all the time, I am a ball of mush that is piling in this exoskeleton right now. So when they told me that, man, I was overwhelmed with emotion. Such kind words, because people don't have to say nice things to you. They just don't. They don't have to congratulate you. So from people that I played with, and literally played with for years, and Abdul and I played HeroClix for years. Bruno, we've played some games for sure. Been to his house and things of that nature, and his lovely wife, all that type of stuff. So it's like to hear that from actual people that you're friends with meant a lot to me. So they had me in Graceland out here crying. People probably thought it was because of Elvis, but it was because of HeroClix.
You guys
I bet you're glad that last minute trip paid off then, huh?
Oh no, man.
I know Mac and I are.
Oh yeah, no, man, for sure. It everything happens for a reason, and it shows that like I came to Worlds to play Team Worlds. That was it. I came to play Team Worlds and win a Rainbow Hand Superman. So I didn't get my Superman, but like winning that. And Bruno can attest to it because he's a former champion too. Once you're a champion forever. Mm-hmm. Like, you are a champion forever. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. You're a champion forever. People will say, "Oh, former world champion, this." So you're a champion forever. And
we could be a trivia question.
And that's another thing. Like at fan night, they asked a trivia question that's about like the world champions. So it's like you could end up being a trivia question because you have implanted like yourself in the HeroClix like history books. And for some people, it might not seem like it's a big thing, but when you feel that rush of adrenaline, knowing that you've won and knowing that you've done something that so many people every year want to do and they can't do it. And the way that it all came together, me coming last minute, 3-hour flight delays and, again, new player. Garrett's still a newer player, realistically. Like in the grand scale of HeroClix, he's still a newer player. He still has the new Clix smell on him, realistically. That's what I was saying. So for him to win, it meant so much. Like, and it's every time I look at my plaque on the wall, I say, holy shit, like we won. And I'm sorry for bleep that out. But I'm like, we won, man. Like we won. So I couldn't have shout out to Nancy and Errol, who were my former teammates. They weren't able to come. I probably would have played with them. But thank you to Mac for asking me. Because as soon as Mac heard that I was gonna potentially come, he's like, "Are you playing? Are you playing in Team Worlds? Are you gonna team with us? You're gonna team with us?" Like he was right in the DMs like immediately, and I was like, "Of course I'll play with you guys." So
you guys are me too. I'm from New Jersey, but I mean actually I was born in New York, but like you guys are all New Yorkers, so I mean like East Coast representing, right? Like
East Coast representing.
But it was funny. So like we won obviously, and our other team was obviously very excited for us, our Bionic 2, and they were like, "That's awesome" and stuff. But we were talking with like Michael's like, "Oh, I got the hunger now." He's like, "You guys took it home," and he's like, I gotta take home a title." And sure enough,
you did the next day.
Next day, got the theme title, and he comes up and he's like, "I was feeling left out, and I came back, and I got it." So, again, and shout out to all the winners.
Lucas Patrick won Pulp, and I mean he's always he's a very good player. And then
always knocking on the door.
When I found out that Lucas won Pulp, I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
That doesn't surprise me.
And then who won? Patrick Fraser, the world champion.
Fraser won world.
Shout out to him. I'm going to be contacting all of the other winners for interviews and stuff pretty soon.
Nice.
But Antonio, you the reason why me and Abdul and I were congratulating you in the hallway. I mean you do really deserve it. Like how long have you been playing now?
Since 2005, realistically, since 2005, man, a long time. But it feels good that's like a statement that is like, when I hear it, it's just like, but what makes someone deserve to win a championship, right? You know what I'm saying? But
you all deserve it. You all deserve it. And Mcconnell, how long have you been playing too?
I don't remember the year, but it was either Armor Wars or Sinister. So pre-carded stuff, whatever year those came out. I think that's when I started.
And I got to give a shout out to both Antonio and Mcconnell. I mean, and all the guys at Kings, even Michael and Reggie, one of our other guys, and all the guys at Kings, because I started playing early last year, and I just randomly went down to Kings and started playing with. I had a couple I had the starter set and everything, and they jumped in and they've helped me learn. And they, Mac being our judge has gone through a lot of questions for me, and I've played Michael hundreds of times now, and he's whooped my ass hundreds of times, it's like, but we, when we were at Worlds and leading up to that point, and I was getting nervous. I was like, guys, I'm really nervous. And Antonio, you were like, you got this. This is easy. You've got this. Mm-hmm. You're a good player. You've got it. It's great. And I haven't been playing nearly as long as these two, but having their support, having the support of the guys back at Kings, has really, really made it, a possibility. That's what made it a possibility for me to be able to show up and play. And again, walking through all the postmortem stuff and even all the stuff that we did prior, all the even just when I have team building questions and things like that. It's like, Mac, I'm thinking about this team. I'm thinking about this team. And, we all chat with each other every once in a while. And we're like, oh, well, what did you think about that? And, all those types of small things that lead up to this, it has given me like such a helpful boost that I think that for a newish player, over just in the grand scheme of HeroClix, a newish player, I think it's given me such a boost that if anybody's getting into the game, I wish that the best for them. I wish for the Antonios, for the McConnells, for the Michaels, for the King's Games crew, because it's invaluable for sticking with the game and for continuing to learn and for wanting to, excel and go to Worlds and go to Nationals and Gen Con and things like, and all these places. So big thanks to you guys for that.
Well, a while ago, I had a video. I had a video with Antonio on it. I had a video with Lucas and Antonio. It was a sealed. It was like what to do in sealed and kind of like informative for people that were watching the video about how you should build a sealed team and tips in sealed. And I was thinking to myself, who should I invite on this episode? Who would be the best players in sealed? And the best player I know in sealed is Antonio. He wins all the time at a Highlander. He wins sealed all the time. He's I'm who's the best sealed player I know? Antonio is really good at sealed, so that's why I had him.
It's quickly becoming my favorite format.
It's such a good format. Yeah,
it's a good format.
Sealed is awesome. Yeah. And big shout out to WizKids for moving to a brick rather than I forget what they were doing before, but a brick is the right way to do it for sure.
Yeah. And I know it's probably a little extra, I'm assuming, than buying 6 boosters or whatever. But man, how worth it was it to you just pop that brick and also it's kind of nice that when we divide up all of our stuff, you're like, oh yeah, you got the extra legacy card to toss in there for picking.
Calendar Man.
Yeah, Calendar Man.
Yeah, we got Calendar Man.
You guys got Calendar Man? That's the legacy card.
Yeah, we got Calendar Man.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yep.
Also what I noticed about your teams is that you guys had a lot of prob. You even mentioned that you guys had a lot of prob on your teams. And there's not Antonio did, Garrett did, but but there's not a lot of prob in the set, right? So comparatively, there's not really much prob in the set. But you guys each had prob. Antonio had prob, Garrett had prob. That maybe gave you an edge, I think. And then also, what do you? DC Notorious. There's not a whole lot of prob in the set. What do you think of the set in general, Notorious?
That single prob from Two-Face has helped me more times than I could imagine.
It's such an important power. It's
such an important power. That one prob. I know, when with Mac not having any, we were like, I know it's going to struggle, but and I had lower attacks. I had 10s and 11s, but Penguin has this thing where he could give himself or an adjacent figure energy explosion knockback or poison, smoke cloud, or precision strike blades.
He's so good.
It's so good. Yeah. Two-Face has energy explosion, but the amount of times I was like, yo, here you go, have that knockback. And he's got a 5 range, 4 running shot, dual target, knockback energy explosion, and he's like, oh, okay, I missed. You know what? Prob that, because I can prob myself. The amount of times that it's hard for me. It's hard for mine to pick an MVP because rare Ivy's insane. The Penguin handing out powers, and I had I had a theme team, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go second because I get to not only do I choose the map, but Penguin says when you go second, you get to put 2 goons out of your choosing. Mr. Freeze says, oh, you get to put 4 ice blocking markers if you're second. So going second was such a benefit to me. And those new powers that they've added of oh, go first or go second is so helpful. It really you can very much choose how your preference is going to go. I really like the set. I'm not as interested in the Black Lanterns as Antonio or somebody. But I even said during our team building, I was like, if you pull
We
Black
pulled
Lantern,
Superman.
I was like, if you pull Black Lanterns, Black Lantern, Superman, I was like, you guys have it, have at it. I was like, the only shades that I'm truly interested are, deceased Hawkman, deceased Joker, those types of things. Then I'm all over it. But like any of the Black Lantern stuff, have at it. And you know what? The GCU, man, they really came through. And like some of these super rares are just so good. Like,
Yeah.
I love the Penguin. I love the Two-Face. The Monster Hunter Harley is so much fun. The King Shark is so much fun.
King Shark's really good.
King Shark's really good camo. That Super Rare Prime is crazy.
Another beast.
Like,
So
just
good.
I mean, some of these super rares are great. Some of these when I was kind of looking with like some of the BTU, the Batman team up stuff, I was like, oh man, some of that stuff synergizes really well. Some of
A lot of it.
some of the Gotham City Underworld really synergizes well with the new Gotham City Underworld. So I'm like, I mean, I really, and the whole goon mechanic is just fantastic. It's fun. I really, really like the set. That White Rabbit goon is so good that so good. And then I use Black Mana goon a lot because of the enhancement. I use the Accordion Thunder because of the sidestep pulse wave. Like, and that Rabbit goon was mind control. I mean, that mind control and support. That support helped me. It like more than one time. That support helped me because like they'd smack Lincoln March down to his like zero, like no defense click, and you're like, oh, so it's like, oh well, Rabbit Goon's right there. Roll that support, damn, right back up. And you're like, yes,
Yeah.
So I love the set. I think it's a lot of fun. I think we had a lot of fun with the set, and it really does like our brick breakdown and everything. It really does prove that you don't that the set has more to offer at the lower rarity than just the changes and products. It does have a lot to offer. There's a lot to be seen with the lower rarities. And I mean, like we even in the uncommons, rares, and common slots. I mean, goons aside, like there are things that are worth playing. So
yeah, I mean, I echo a lot of that. The set that I really liked from back in the day was the Guardians of the Galaxy comic book set and the like Fury Agents of Shield, and that was because they had a lot of generics in the low rarity slots, and I think that's something that's just really good for any set. If you're buying a lot of sealed product, you're gonna pull duplicates. It's just gonna happen. So when those are things that you can have multiples of, they're generic, they're good generics. It's really nice to have. So that's something that they did really well, I think, with Notorious. But the synergy, I mean, the way that some of these figures synergize and it's just amazing. The GCU is really good. The Assassins have some legs behind them now. There's just a lot of good stuff. And, Theme went away. I think a lot of people were upset with that, the loss of Theme Team Probs. But the things that they're doing for benefits for going second, so, winning Theme and then just choosing to go second to get these benefits is just really big.
Yeah.
I think it's, what's his name? The big boss gorilla guy. Him and Penguin both give you 2 goons if you go second. Like you said, Mr. Freeze with the ice block. Or there's like a couple of figures here that give you benefits for going second. So it's really nice. You get to choose map and get these benefits.
And there's
really
a
good
few
set.
that even
higher rarity.
I was gonna say there's a few that even do have the super rare Harley Monster Hunter one has like if you go first,
you
get this benefit. It's very good.
Yeah, I mean, like the higher rarity stuff, there's nothing like too high points. They did a good job, I think, of like putting Black Adam, because Black Adam could have easily been a super rare, right? So putting him in the rare slot, putting Zod in the uncommon slot, I think those are good moves to make so that you have some kind of diversity with the power within the set. And then the super rare stuff I think they're mostly low points other than King Shark, but they do stuff that is really unique and helpful to a team and just brings the synergy that you need to have a good set. So I like the set a lot. Obviously, everybody's raving over the chase theme, so yeah.
I mean, the thing about a good set for me, and most players in the game will say that what makes a good set is it's like a trickle down effect. Are your chases good? Then your super rares, and then your CUR, right? And Notorious has checked all of those boxes. Sculpts are good, dials are good, power is distributed. It's distributed through the set. Synergy is super high. The synergy is over 9,000 realistically, which I love. And it makes it so that if you pull some stuff, yes, there are boosters in sealed. There's going to be people when this set drops that's going to pull, Amanda Waller as a rare, and then maybe something else as a rare that's not like the best, like it's not Black Adam. But as Garrett showed, you can still beat a Black Adam at 200 points with help. You still can do that because this set works so well together, and it has so much undercover power that when you look at it, it then might not seem like it's anything until you put it all together. And that's the joy of a good set, And again, high rarity stuff is great. Like when you have good high rarity stuff and making someone, let's say like a Kite Man. Kite Man's Kite Man, again, on paper, he's not doing Black Adam numbers realistically. But when you put him on a team where he can synergize well, Kite Man's out here hitting you for big damage, which is lovely. So I really, really enjoy this set. It's right up there with, to me, it's in my top 3 favorite DC sets that I've seen so far, with like Flash being one of them. Flash being my number 1 because I'm a huge Flash fan, and that set had a lot of like deep diving into the lore, so that was cool for me. Wonder Woman 80 had generics, and Wonder Woman 80 is to me like is the archetype of what a good set should be. You have good generics, you have figures that work with those generics, you have good super rares,
insane chases,
and you have primes that are amazing. And that's the thing, the primes in this set, like, let's be honest, everyone knows on here, and anyone that's listening, Prime Spidey's probably like still the best prime, especially now with rotation. Prime Spidey's easily like the best. He's 1A or 1B. Like I think he's 1A. I think he's the best prime still in the game just because of his utility and power. But say like Talon is like Mcconnell just said, like Assassins has legs. OMAC Prime, I know people are going to be like, oh, he's so many points. But for those points, you are getting like 6 damage on that. Can like also
11 clicks.
He's a lot of. He's not only is he a lot of clicks, but also like he makes the OMACs. And while the OMACs themselves don't do anything too crazy, if you plan around it, you could potentially kill something, make a OMAC, kill something else, and now heal that OMAC that you just made. And heal it 2 clicks. So it's like this set has so many different things that's going to add not only to the meta game, but especially to like your regular weekly games and stuff like that. Like so many pieces that are really good, and that the sculpts are just absolutely gorgeous on the majority of these pieces in this set. The sculpts are gorgeous. So overall, I give this set realistically like a 9. Out of 10. There's only a few things that I could say that I wish they would have done different. I wish they would have saved Injustice for like a whole set, like so the Injustice, Superman, and Wonder Woman. I wish they would have just put them in like a set all together, and then maybe given us a few, like a new Vandal Savage. I would have enjoyed him. And like maybe a new Parasite. I would have enjoyed one of him too. To like kind of round out that Superman Revenge Squad, since that's a thing. But I mean, even the Ultra Chase, which some people are down on, is a finesse piece. So I congratulate WizKids for making something that, Mephisto is very like in your face, and he's great. Don't get me wrong. I also like finesse piece. I like stuff that takes some thought and some skill to use, and that Ultra Chase, if built around properly, especially with how you do terrain and everything like that, you can really they can come out swinging, literally. And I absolutely love that. So it's a great set. It's hands down, it's a great set. I'm so glad that I bought some product. I can't wait to unbox that stuff. And that's coming this week, which I'm very excited about. And it's going to be overall, it's going to be a very, very, very very good set for a lot of people. So good luck to anyone that's listening and watching with your pulls coming this week. If you're getting product or if you're playing sealed, have a good time. It's going to be a fun set for you for sure.
Yeah, and what do you guys think about we mentioned it a little bit before, the Scott Porter figures. You have the H4H, the black shirt one, and then you have the Power Bomb, which is the white shirt Scott Porter. Like, do you think they are, like, well, obviously they're good, but like how are they going to affect the meta, and like how would you play them? I noticed, like you said, you would put Indigo Ring on the H4H. Yeah. So what do you think?
Well, the cool thing about the Scott Porter is, first off, shout out to Scott Porter for having something that is going to be played all the way for the rest of the game, especially with silver. He's going to be a staple in silver for now, for the rest of the time. Like, he's a staple in silver.
He's a staple in
and he's going to be a staple. But after he rotates out of meta, out of modern, he's gonna live in silver forever, because how can't he has value on any one of the things. And he on a like Scott Porter on a Gotham City Underworld team or an assassin team is insane. +1 damage and +1 attack. So I give range combat or close combat expert to the whole squad, as long as we're like from the same. A lot of people are going to be playing them together. I will not. I actually will not. I'll probably will just be playing one or the other, depending on the bonuses and things of that nature. Because those 25 points for me for the Power Bomb one on a non like set, exclusive team is like some swords for me. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, every team is now going to be 250 now, 250. No, it'd probably be 275 for me. But one of those Scots are going on damn near every team.
With the keyword cheating, I just want to, so I think they're a little different in how they work. So the white one, the Power Bomb one, that has all keywords even when not on the map, right? So
no. Does he or does the? I thought that was the HeroClix for Huntington one.
No,
the HeroClix for Huntington is the one where, when establishing team teams, you choose.
Yeah, so if you're equipping a ring, if you're assigning a ring to one of them, the white shirt one gets it for free. The black,
the colors, but yeah.
But so the black shirt one does not get it for free, I don't think, because it's
he can't. But you can, if you assign it, you can still use, if you give it the correct keyword.
Then you get the constructs for free.
You'll get the constructs for free.
So you only get to pick one keyword with the black one.
Go for it.
So yeah, but those Scott Porters are like really good. So
yeah.
Well, what do you like?
You're gonna see you're gonna see one or the other. We had our weekly game down at Kings, and we did a Golden Age event, and Mac was like, anything's fair game. Notorious, Porters, Con Ellies, anything's fair game. So I played a Powerbomb Scott Porter yesterday at the thing. It's so good, and that stop click is such a pain. The free heal, the stop click. It's like, okay, well, here we go. We're going to. They're gonna be around, and like Antonio said, they're gonna be in silver. I mean, running them on Assassin teams is gonna be great. I'm a big X-Men fan. I can't wait to run them on some of my X-Men teams.
Yes.
I'm hoping that they're gonna lead to a lot of. I mean, you're gonna see them everywhere, so you're gonna have to learn to deal with them. But
well, now there's the decision that you have to make, right? Like, are you gonna play non-theme and just like good stuff, or are you gonna play theme with like now you have a decision, because now theme is good again, right? Like,
yeah, I was gonna say it's made theme. The Huntington's one gives you like the theme props back basically again, which is super cool.
Better than regular theme, right?
Yeah. So
and there's so much keyword cheating that just makes it. There's the Miss Marvel. There's so many figures that just gain these keywords and just make theme not just viable but really good.
Yeah, really good. I mean, and then you still have a lot. I personally am always, since I've started, I'm a huge fan of the keyword cheating. I love bouncing the Spider-Man family around. I love bouncing the X-Men around.
Mm-hmm.
Even the single one-off ones like this new Harley and Notorious, the coming Harley is like, oh, pick one person she's here as a keyword with and give them Gotham City Underworld. And I'm like, fantastic. who do I want to make Gotham City Underworld? She's got a
Prime
generic,
Spider-Man.
yeah, she's got a generic keyword. Let's go through it. Like she's got scientists. What scientist on Marvel now wants to come to the GCU? Like
Prime Spider-Man.
I absolutely love the keyword shooting. I think it's so fun. I think Deathstrokes is fun. I think the Doom Patrol one is a lot of
The
fun.
Chief.
All of that type of I think that those are just fun. So like having these Scott Porters in, it's just another form of like this is gonna be great. And now big thing in Silver though, they do carry the actual celebrity keyword. So hypothetically, you make them Spider-Man fam, the white shirt, no, the black shirt, the Huntington's one, and you don't have to pick Spider-Man family to make up a theme team. You can pick Green Lantern. You can pick whatever one of the rings, and he's already got. It's like I love it. I think they're going to be fun. I think people are going to be really annoyed with them in about a year, but I think they're going to be fun.
Although, I mean, what you just said, Garrett, made me think, because, we were talking about the Silver theme, the theme event in Worlds, and Michael winning that. And the theme format, like, if they do end up restricting Silver to, like, theme, in the theme format, it specifically says it has to be printed keywords.
On the card.
Yeah, for the theme format, yeah. My hope is that they do. And I've told Mac this. I've told Mac this before, and I know that it's probably because I'm still I started last year or whatever. But like I'm for everything. Like give me multiple theme versions. Give me all of the rally dice. Give me all the legacy cards.
Yeah.
Give me all the team. Like the more that I know some people are like, oh, I hate keyword cheating, or oh, I hate the rally dice mechanic, or oh, the XYZ. People don't like certain parts of it. I'm like, great. Then don't play that part of it. Give it to me all. Give me all the options. I don't usually play team up cards. I'm not a huge team up cards, but I like them. Send them. More variations are
send all of it.
Yeah, send all of it. Give me the Iconics. Give me the Notorious, or give me the bricks. Give me the like. And if they can think it, and they're like, oh. That if they brought back, I mean, they haven't for a while. I mean, even the rally dice have been gone for a couple sets now, but like the ally and sidekick and thing like that, bring it back. I love all of the mechanics. I'm a huge fan of like any mechanic that you can like just say, have fun, let's toss some, even if there's only a couple in each set. For me, it's like, okay, well, the Deadpool, again, I'm waiting for the next X-Men set again. I know nobody wants that, but like if you get the Deadpool Weapon X set, and there's some X-Men, and there's some more rally dice, and like there's a couple X-Men legacy cards and like things like that, I'm like, yes, send it, because they're gonna backfill with the X-Men from Slop and the X-Men from X of Swords and things like that. And one of the big things that this set made really really good is the assassin keyword. Like, I mean, like Deadshot, Roz, Prime Talent, all this stuff. And I look back at like all the other assassins, and I'm like, look at the giant Colossal Pog is a giant assassin. I'm like, that's fun.
Yes, he is.
I mean, Slop Wolverine, Slop Gorgon. I'm like, I've been trying to make Slop Gorgon something special at like, what is it, 50 points with the sword trade. He gets 2 swords, and he's got exploit, and he's got charge, and give him 2 swords of your choosing. And I was like, why isn't he played more? He's fantastic. But
he just doesn't stay on the map.
Yeah, right.
Get them right out of there.
Like give him Warlock, give him some shape change, give him some, and I'm like maybe doing, like these types of mechanics that are boosting like the assassin's keyword. Like Roz is like, oh, assassin generics, great. It's only making older figures more hopefully pieces that didn't get their time to shine a more viable option. I can't wait to see what more mechanics, more ideas. By making, I was looking at the BTU stuff compared to the Notorious, and that I re-looked at that Poison Ivy, that uncommon Poison Ivy from BTU, and I'm like, all of Gotham City Underworld, if they have it, they have stealth. It's like, wow, that's amazing. And I was like, she's also she can move and poison.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are we not at 25 points? I'm like, this is fantastic.
I think at 50 points she has that on her top click, and 25 points, I don't know if she has that.
Yeah, 25 points she doesn't.
she doesn't have that on top. Like still 50 points. I mean, like
Yeah,
given the
still
whole,
really good.
still
25
whole
points
job
is
to the
great
end.
too.
Yeah, I mean, like I think that all the mechanics are good. Like any mechanic that you want to toss in there, I'm for. Obviously I haven't played long enough for like I still am learning about like a lot of the golden age, like team bases and this and that and what have you. But like I love the idea of just running with like again, even the simple rally dice mechanic. I'm a huge fan of. So
Yeah. I mean, and also I was thinking that power bomb Scott Porter. I mean, one power we didn't mention that he has is that pulse wave.
Pulse wave with knockback.
Pulse wave with knockback that does not affect your friendly characters.
He's good.
That's insane.
He's good.
that's insane.
He's good.
The convention exclusives this year as a whole are just kind of insane, right? Like Cap Pegasus is gonna be everywhere. He's amazing. In the tournament Garrett was just talking about, we played yesterday. I played Hawkeye and Hawkeye, and my God, like that Hawkeye and Hawkeye they basically have wall crawler, but for 6 squares instead of 4.
6 squares.
And then they make the bystander that has the same trait can come on any click that Hawkeye and Hawkeye has. That they are insanely good.
And
Space
they
Ghost
have shield too, right? So they call in.
Yep.
They have shield too, right? So like,
yep. I had Agent Coulson on the sideline, so they could bring him in. They are just amazing. Space Ghost is. Some people were playing him in singles because he was legal because he came out I think in San Diego Comic-Con. He is for 30 points absolutely insane. I mean, double reflex,
ridiculous.
Yeah, double reflex that gives a safeguard opposing proud, PK, 3 force blast, 11 for 4 charge, super sensitive, stealth, super strength. He's just incredible. He's incredible.
How about the Iconix? Do you guys? Are there any Iconix that you guys are like or excited about coming up or?
I mean the Superman one that they just showed, that got previewed yesterday. All the dials for the rest of the set at the Fan Expo, or the Fan Appreciation, they showed Superman and Doomsday. Someone is going to run Doomsday at 300 points, the same way someone's running Apocalypse at 300. Someone's going to run Apocalypse at 300 and see how far they can get. Someone is going to run Doomsday, which if you don't take that restraint token off of him, you have to hit him 11 times.
Oh.
I'm going to say that one more time. You have to hit him 11 times to kill him. And you can't outwit him. So if you don't have Leech or Cosmo or something like that, he's gonna get something. He's getting something. He's gonna get something. And if he does take a restraint token off of himself, just now he has Flurry the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So like when it comes to like the iconic stuff, even Thanos, right? So even the Thanos, if you build around that Thanos properly, being able to be like, oh hey, half of your build, take 3 unavoidable damage. We all know 3 unavoidable damage straight through, nothing, can be so detrimental, especially when you start talking about like Genesises and Apocalypses. Telling a Genesis or Apocalypse take 3 unavoidable and like that's it. Like just take it.
Just go right to the KO area. KO area.
Yeah, get off the map. So it's called people just have to. I'm in the camp of like, damn near anything can be viable. You have to be brave enough to build it, and most people don't know something is good until someone is brave enough to build it. So for anyone that's listening, be brave enough to build it, and you'll see how good a lot of these things can be. Yes, the point and click stuff is great. Yes, the meta stuff is amazing, but the iconic stuff is great. And I think that Wolverine is going to have a place once the Deadpool set comes out. I can almost guarantee he's going to have some X-Men that are going to make him very,
Wolverine,
very big.
Laying on the bed, that one? Or?
Yeah, that broken heart Wolverine. Because he
Wolverine?
heals. free healing. Free healing is just great. And free healing is great, and he's cheap. He's only like 45 points top dial, like, so it's like, but
where's it been?
The Wolverine laying in the bed.
Yeah, you have to be within a certain
Yeah, which is, and he has sidestep too and everything like that. Like he's a so far when I played him, I've been playing him with Morgan Le Fay. So he's had a crush on Morgan Le Fay, and for Morgan Le Fay, he's a perfect mastermind.
Not a bad
piece.
question to have. Not a bad question.
Yeah. So and I mean even her, like she's Morgan Le Fay is one of my favorite pieces that come out in recently, just because her being able to move all the way over, essentially just really move across the map almost, and mind control for free. You give her Billy Club so she can target multiple people, and now close attack, 13 attack with prob and mind control across the map is ridiculous. You let her carry whoever she wants, Miss Marvels, and then now you got something. So it's called the iconic stuff is great. Like WizKids really does have a lot of good stuff on the out and on the horizon. I can't imagine what that Origins Wolverine is going to be like when you get Wolverine, the Hulk, and Wendigo. That's coming out either late on this year or like next year. That's going to be insane.
That's gonna be awesome.
Come on.
I love that. I love that comic book too. I mean, that's like at a high price comic book, but the cover is just like awesome. That what is that, like Hulk 181 or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Tony, even that Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like how long before we get that? Like that's probably going to be an Iconix. If we're talking about Origins and stuff like that, that cover that you have in your background is probably going to be an Iconix at some point in time. Mm-hmm. So
we got that before, right? We got that on the 2x2. I think. It was a mail away figure. It was a 2x2 with that same.
But
it wasn't as good, but yeah,
that wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Spidey's been getting his flowers as of late, so I expect Spidey to get his. I mean, like right now, like another one that's really good. This is really insane.
Good. Yeah,
that's the only Iconix I own right now.
Second place in silver, they were playing Azrael. They were playing Iron Hammer.
Oh,
Azrael.
wow.
Because he because he does free damage. But here's the thing with GC with Gotham City Underworld and this Bane. Free healing? Like, And free healing with this?
To the Underworld, giving everybody 13. Ooh, it's going to be so nice. No, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Iconix. I have the Nightfall. I was going to mention that one before Antonio did that. I was like, that one's great. I'm super pumped about the Sherlock Holmes one. Super pumped that I'm super pumped about the Sherlock Holmes. Mac and I have talked about it before. I'm a little iffy on some of them. I'm kind of like, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. It's hard to pre-order without knowing dials and things like that. Mm-hmm. But like Sherlock Holmes, I'm doing it. Even if I've owned 2 dials.
Yeah. Well, one of the few that I've ordered, and this again, same thing. Like I'd like to see the dial before ordering, but one of the ones I ordered the dial unseen was that big furry Kong. That Kong. Yes. I saw the thing. I was like, okay, they've been slowly trickling in Colossal Retaliation with Carnage, and now with Brimstone. He is probably gonna do something ridiculous. It's the first time they've ever done the hair on the sculpt, so that's gonna be really nice to see. And hopefully that means other things like Spawn maybe. Spawn.
You know what? Keep going, Matt. Keep going.
Yeah, no, I mean it just Iconix have been really cool. The casing for it is really nice. The dials have been pretty good all across the board, so it's nice to see those. I just wish they would show dials earlier so that because all of them have been selling out. So to be able to see what you're gonna get before you put in that pre-order is nice. But they've been hitting it out of the park.
Beetlejuice, I am
I can't wait for Beetlejuice.
So I asked them at the Fan Expo. I asked John at the expo. I said, listen, without giving me any like dial stuff, I said, be honest with me. Like, what's on a scale of 1 to 10? What's Beetlejuice? Like be honest with me. He was like
17.
He was like 8.5, and I was like, all right. I'll take it, right? Because Beetlejuice essentially should be insane, almost. Like, essentially, he has Toon Force, which pretty much means he can do whatever he wants when he's out.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a sideline active that's going to make him insane. I actually think Kong is gonna have a trait that kind of works like the Wolverine, where you choose like your crush. Because remember, like Kong, that version of Kong, like he was obsessed with the one woman, you know.
Yeah.
So it's called like I foresee him being that person that has a thing where it's like I choose you, and when you're over here, I get these powers. When you're over there, I get these powers. So
and I mean, these like +1 stats, battle fury.
Also, he's gonna be an animal, which like I think it's just a tip of the hat that the Gorilla Grodd we're about to make can make him move for free. You know what I'm saying? If with the leadership, and then Kazar can make him move again so like you could potentially have like a Kong who is gonna have a 2x2 base. Already realistically start off. Let's just say his movement is Kong's movement should be at least like let's say 8 to 10. So Kong with those like 2 people on his team, without us seeing any dial, Kong can move 8 squares. Let's just say 8 squares across the map. You're already 2 out, right? And you move 8, and then you have a giant reach of 3. That means like with 2 leaderships roles, he can move across the map and probably smack the crap out of somebody. Like that's turn 2. He's right in your starting area.
Yeah.
With Miss Marcus.
So I wanted to transition a little bit to another topic, which is, well, I mean, it's related. It's related because you guys were talking about a lot of like other figures and stuff. I mean, just in terms of meta now, like the meta post rotation. Now rotation has happened, right? So like it happens on Monday, actually, right? I think, but so
the 18th, yeah,
like tomorrow. So. Oh no! Did it happen already? Yeah. So I mean,
I think it already happened.
Yeah, it was the 18th.
Basically, it happened already. So yeah. So we have a new meta now. What do you think is in the meta? What are like the standout figures, and also the sleeper figures, like figures that people might be sleeping on that, might make a splash in the meta. Like, what do you think?
Oh boy, there is so much. So just strictly speaking about what we have now, so we know on the horizon there's Hellfire Gala X-Men Part 2, Hellfire Avengers, Iconix, just a bunch of stuff coming out. So not considering that because we don't know Dial. Carnage Silver Surfer is still going to be a problem. The lack of Necro Sword makes him even more formidable, right? So I think you're going to still want power canceling, which I think right now we only have Leech and Cosmo. Leech, without the cloak, without the what is it, that triangle thing, the angler, without that, like it's tough to get him around. So I think Cosmo's a more viable option. So really,
but we don't have the big taxi like we did with Lockjaw anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he just has to be within range. So like Perplex is still help boost that. So you want to get like a Perplex, a taxi. He's probably wants to turn off maybe Battlefield, Shape Change. And then you can play like the 2x2 Carnage to help with the super senses, and then just go in and hope he doesn't roll the 6 and try to take him out. But he's going to be really tough. But you have a lot of figures that just say forget about your defense powers, right? Like Cat Pegasus does it.
Prime Talon.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah, Prime Talon. There's a lot of guys that'll just get around that. So it's really wide open. But I think those are the big players. I think there's a place for Hawkeye and Hawkeye. They just can pump out a lot of damage and just really mobile. So they're good. Teams are going to be big. Assassins, I think Detective still has legs. They have the World's Finest. They can bring people in with Misty Knight. There's a lot of stuff there. GCU has a ton of synergy from this set and from Batman Team Up. Really, you can play anything. I think you can play pretty much anything and do pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, play to, like we did in Team Worlds. Play to your strengths.
Play to your strengths, man. But I think that it's like Mac just said, it really is wide open. The staples are going to be Cap on Horse is going to be everywhere. Like, so if anyone gets the ability to get a Cap on Horse, get a Cap on Horse. Like for real. He's literally going to be played from now until, again, he automatically becomes a staple in silver for 40 points. Realistically, for 50 points. for 50 points, yeah, he's an X-Man already. Like just to say like I have him right here, and then right next to him, I have Bay the Blood Moon, right? So I'm just like, oh yeah, like trust me, like warriors are a thing in X-Men. I really think again we're gonna see the rise of some one-man armies. Point denial is gonna be a thing again. Doomsday, point denial, Catwoman, point denial, Catwoman, APOC at 300 is point denial. I think a piece that I'm going to play that a lot of people don't. I mean, again, Prime Talon, and that's the thing. Like with when you have power erasure warps the game. So like Tap on Horse and like Prime Talon make it very, very, very hard to play a one-man army because you can just, you know, especially on assassin team, a one-man army is dead. Like you're dead in the water.
Yeah, like Cap. So sorry to cut you. So like Cap, I mean, he does it just for his attack, but Talon saying that all assassins
all the
just forget about your defense.
I already have two assassin teams built realistically. Shout out to you, Tony Bruno, real fast, because I watched one of your videos that was talking about like Gotham City Underworld with Miss Marvel and like Frank the Plan and all that other stuff. I hadn't even thought about Miss Marvel. Like I just remember joking around with Sulai, my Padawan, and just joking about how she kept pulling Miss Marvel, and she's like, "I'm tired of all these Miss Marvels I keep pulling," and now I'm like,
play two of them.
But listen, now everyone keeps talking about Scott Porter. Realistically, 100 points of my build usually goes to Miss Marvel, just because having two characters that can come across the map and swing for like 5 damage a piece, right? And this is the thing that I totally forgot until I started looking at Cap last night. I forgot that when Cap hits with his hypersonic, he gives you charge. He gives 2 characters charge with +1 speed. What? Yeah. So that means like, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
So
like,
really good.
So it's called like the synergy of like Mac just said, it's so wide open. We also don't know what's going to be in Wheels of Vengeance. Like we haven't seen, and from what we've seen of Wheels of Vengeance and what we've seen of Phase 2 from the new Marvel set, like we're about to get like essentially like Possession again. We're getting that Khonshu. We don't know what's the big blue guy that we saw at the Fan Expo? Chthon, yeah. We don't know what Chthon, and like Chthon's a straight 300. He's 300 points, no lower dial. I am the god of chaos. Like I am Chthon. We don't know what all of these people do. We also know that Ace is coming. Ace is like being able to be like, oh, no outwits, but I can outwit your protected outwit stuff. So now again, that makes her ridiculous. And we have a Ghost Rider that makes it so that you can't be outwitted. You know what I'm saying? Like your powers can't
erase my powers.
So that Ghost Rider, realistically, that we're gonna get in less than like what we're gonna get that like another 2 months, maybe 2 months or so. That Ghost Rider is going to be at the top of a lot of people's list because of the Cosmo and stuff like that, because of the Cat. That's insane how wide open the game is right now. So I love where the game is right now. I tell people if you're listening and you haven't played HeroClix for a while and you want to get back into the game now, and especially if you want to dip your toes into the meta, now is a great time to do so because it literally is wide open now. Now that Scarlet Witch is gone, the Angler's gone, those big power erasure pieces are gone. Now's the time to dip your toes back into it because, yeah, you do have powers and stuff like Scarab's gone. Apocalypse is still there, but there's so much that can get around Apocalypse really. If you really build it, if you're brave enough to build it, Apocalypse isn't that bad, as a matter of fact, if you're only brave enough to build it, you know?
Garrett, what do you think about the meta post rotation?
Well, as someone who played a Speed Weasel and a Richter at
yes,
trying to give my little X-Men little one last boost, which love the team couldn't hit worth crap, but
Speed Weasel.
like Speed Weasel. I am interested to see where it further goes. Obviously, when we do our modern runs, this is actually my first this is my first rotation. So
Mhm.
like a lot of the stuff that I have, they've rotated I mean, it's a big rotation too. So like
Yeah.
I'm at that point for the first time. I'm at a point where more than 50% of my collection is no longer modern viable. And I think about that and I'm like, damn,
Sadness and hope.
I thought a
It's like
lot.
silver's looking really good now.
Uh,
It was looking real good now.
in fact, I'm of the again, I didn't play in their prime, but I'm of the proponent that ID cards should have stayed in silver with some revision, like maybe make it one or yep.
Garrett, no, man, no,
Garrett,
bro.
look outside your window. There's pitchforks and flames.
Oh, right.
No, bro, no. Garrett, you didn't live through ID card times, man. It was you
Like
just didn't.
the wanted posters.
Okay, I did play through the ID cards, and I agree that they should be in the game. I mean, they should be limited. Yes, they should be limited, but they made the format truly unique. I mean, even if it was just like one or two ID cards, yes, I know they come out. You can't retaliate against them because
It's
they're off the
too
map.
powerful.
I know, I know,
5 points.
still, it's so
Why?
Hold up,
good.
Mac. Did you live through Balls of Fury? Did you live through
Yep,
Quinjet and Balls of
yep,
Fury? How
yep,
can you
yep,
say that
yep.
after Balls of Fury and like level 7 shield
But
card?
look,
So
there's
Garrett,
dolphin symbol now.
Garrett,
Go
what
ahead,
were you
go
gonna
ahead.
say though? You were saying something, Garrett. What were you saying?
Oh, I was like I looked at the wanted posters. Like if you get them, there's negatives with the wanted posters. Like you're gonna use there's a little bit of negative. If you adjust it so you're like, oh, your max call out could be like, I don't know, 75 points or 100 points, or you only get one ID card or something like that. Or like or the ID card becomes an equipment and you have to assign one person and they're the only one that gets to do it and they have to take the power. Like I think that there's obviously again I didn't live through the ID card phase, but like again
Trauma.
I'm like send it like Silver Age send it. Again the meta is like we'll see how it goes out. I think this is somebody mentioned Antonio you might somebody mentioned that this is like the smallest modern we've had in a long time for at this point in time. Like 4 sets or 5 sets.
Maybe.
Um, so like right now it's very weird, but like once we've eventually,
It'll grow.
we'll see. I think what they've mentioned on player or pieces that are going to be staples, I think is pretty accurate. Again, I'm going to be hunting for my Speed Weasel, my modern age Speed Weasel now, and we'll see
Like,
what I can come across. The little one that just does something fun, but doesn't necessarily.
Her name's Golden Glider. That's what her name is. Her
she's
name is
good.
Golden
Yeah,
Glider.
she's really good.
Yeah.
That's
So
what her name is.
we'll see what I can. I mean, I gave Speed Weasel that golden armor or that cloak, and she just flew. She flew.
All right. So once again, I just want to congratulate McConnell, Antonio, Garrett. You did an awesome job at
Thank you.
Worlds. You won the Team World Championship. You guys all deserve it. You guys are great players, and really showed your teamwork. And you guys, really did an awesome job. I have one last question for you for today. Just a fun little question for the end. What would you say is your favorite all-time HeroClix figure? Which is that's a loaded question. Like that's
That's a loaded question.
give me one
Easy
figure.
for me is Kid Zoom.
Kid
Kid
Zoom?
Zoom.
Okay.
Kid Zoom said stop running in the halls. Hypersonic back in the day was at like nauseum. Hypersonic was a bane in the game, and it was all over the place. So Kid Zoom saying no hypersonic was great. So he sits atop like one of my favorite pieces in the game. Like I enjoy that. So love me some Kid Zoom.
And McConnell?
Oh man. So one of my favorite things in the game is keyword cheating. This figure is nowhere near worth his points anymore, but For me, he was one of the best keyword cheaters they ever made, and that was Doug. Doug from Doug's Army. Oh my God. He just brought in so many
Everybody.
keywords. This is like monster, warrior, brute. I'm forgetting so many soldier. He just brought in so many keywords, but his current point value is it's just not good enough. It's like 125 points or something. But yeah, I would say he was one of my favorites.
And Garrett, for you? I mean, you've only been playing for about a year, so
It's
what's the best? I mean, is it Speed Weasel? What is it?
I mean, I was about to say if I guess like I'm a big fan of I was a big fan of like a lot of the House of X stuff. As a, like obviously I didn't get that much time to play with it, but like
Yeah.
a lot of the House of X stuff. So like Richter and all of them were fantastic, but like the Rise and Fall was fun. I'm a big fan of the weapon hacks. I could. I wish that she was. My only problem with Speed Weasel is she's not 50 points.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
You gotta pick one. You gotta pick one. You want to get one.
Yeah.
oh,
So
and
pick one figure.
just for the sake of me not sitting here for the next like hours, like process everything, I'm gonna say Speed Weasel.
All right.
Um,
All right.
I I think she's so much fun. I think that on these, I wasn't like going to these small maps is like a thing, and I'm like Speed Weasel's got 14 movement, and if she charges, destroys, and then carries on,
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. If she just wants to run across, fantastic. Does you want to give her the cloak or the golden armor and make her fly so she can carry, I don't know, literally anybody and be like, oh, you carry Frogman, and then Frogman goes over, bounces, does his thing. Fantastic. You want to carry Leech, and then Leech wanders away or something like sidesteps away with the cloak on him or something, or Angler. Great. If you want to carry Hammer Eye and give Hammer Eye the extra, like I think that on those smaller maps. I think that she had so much versatility because
Yeah.
of she also got the charge. Like if you were set it up right, she could destroy, charge, boom, carry on. Like she could. I think she was just such a fun little character.
Does she
And
have wild card also? Does she have team player?
she has defenders and mystics. No defenders. Maybe mystics for sure. I think
I thought she could copy like Spidey TA and get like super duper senses. I forgot.
sadly not. The mystics was fun though for her, and she had the exploit blades, but she also had the blades where if you use super senses or blades, and whatever you roll, she can bop away that many. And that wasn't like a line of sight thing or anything like that. That was literally just place X number of squares away. So you're like, oh, if there's a wall or something, I'm like, oh, I'll just hop behind the wall. They're like, okay. I ran in, charge, blades, and then, you know what? I'm gonna leave something behind, like Frogman behind, hop behind a wall, and then Frogman's like, yeah, what up? Sidestep, force blast. Let's have some fun.
That's great.
I love it.
I just think that I think she had so much fun and versatility. I think my hope is in Silver will figure out something for her.
Garrett, also for the record, I am with you. I do not get tired of X-Men sets, so I love X-Men.
I don't either, man. X-Men is dope.
I love X-Men.
They still haven't even scratched the surface. They could make a whole X-Men set of characters that they probably either have only made once or haven't made at all, like easily. So
I want another Gambit so bad now. We don't have a modern Gambit.
He's coming.
Oh, I know.
We're getting at least one in Hellfire, though.
Hellfire.
That's at least one.
We didn't even talk about Polaris. Polaris is going to be meta too, right? Yeah, she's going to be.
The new Magneto.
Free TK is great, man. Free TK is always a good thing.
So I think I think we're going to finish here. Mcconnell, Antonio, Garrett, thank you for coming on the show, and hope everybody that's watching enjoyed this interview. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. Keep looking out for more content on Coffee and Clix. And thank you, everybody. And don't forget, wake up and smell the Clix.